Hi, it's Farley from Mazatlan and the Mazatlan Diaries. So I figured since I named this the Mazatlan Diaries, keyword diaries, I ought to reflect on what I've learned in the last 2 whole weeks living here and being basically what we call an expat, which is really just an immigrant, but we like to use that word, expat. But yeah, I thought I'd reflect on the things that, the funny things and the serious things that I've been thinking about in the last couple of weeks. So bear with me as I convey all these deep thoughts with you today. So number one, it is hot and humid here in Mazatlan. No joke. And this is probably we're going into the cooler part of the year here in Mazatlan. And the good news is we're right by the ocean, so we get a nice breeze. The bad news is, midday, if you're out for a walk, you better find some air conditioning because it's pretty hot. But you know what? There is a lot of air conditioning around. And there have been a couple times where we've been like, oh my gosh, why in the world are we out here midday? We are crazy. But we figure it out. And in fact, the place that we came from in Los Angeles in the valley was pretty freaking hot most of the time. So it's not like we don't know hot. We do. It's just maybe the fact that we don't have a car. So we are out and about more often, possibly, in the elements than we used to be. So we have to be a little more conscious of the heat and the humidity day to day. But, it's not got over 90 here. I think we're kind of lucky that we started arriving here at this time. The highest I think it's been is 88. So not too bad, but with humidity, it does feel hotter, as those who live maybe in Florida can attest. So anyway, that was my first deep thought of the day. The second thing that is quite obvious, and we knew about it ahead of time, is that it's really important to know as much Spanish as you can. Felix is pretty good at Spanish, although I think he thinks he still needs a lot of work. Because, of course, when people see Felix, they consider him a local. They look at his skin color. They think, oh, he's a local. So they talk really fast in Spanish with him. And sometimes, he's like, ¿Cómo? Say again. So, that's hard. And it's for me too. It's hard. My Spanish is not so hot, although I'm not totally lost. But I think what's different in Mazatlan compared to possibly Puerto Vallarta is that in Mazatlan, this is very much a city that Mexicans come to for vacation. So there may be fewer tourists like me, who look like me, I should say, or expats who look like me who speak perfect English. In fact, I must say, when I hear English as I'm walking like down the Malecon along the beach, and if I hear English, I go, whoop, do a double take because it's surprising. So, but we are going to be moving to a slightly different part of town this week, if all goes well, that I would say is more touristy than we are in right now. And we may be around more people who speak English like me and Felix. It may be a little bit more easy. I don't know. We'll see. I'll get back with you on that. But it is going to be in the hotel zone-ish area, so more likely to be around either vacationers from Canada or the United States or expats. So we'll see. It'll be interesting to see if there's a difference between where we're at in this part of Mazatlan versus that part of Mazatlan. It may not be any different. I'm just speculating right now. Number three, I would say this is more of a cash-oriented society or town. It's good to have pesos in your pocket, not dollars. Don't carry on dollars. That's no good. Unless you're exchanging them to pesos. Yeah, I mean, obviously, you can use your debit and credit cards and things like that, but not as much as in the United States, So definitely should be prepared to have some pesos with you, even if it's just for tips, but also just, for restaurants and things like that. Do not assume that they take cards. And we knew this ahead of time, but it's really been cemented for us this week, or in these past couple weeks. It's true. So cash is king, as they say. And yeah, in certain circumstances, we've been like, oh, yes, we absolutely need pesos on us for today or for this situation. So yeah, be conscious of that if you're visiting. I think it's important. Oh, this is number four. Number four. I have heard people complain about the noise in Mexico, or just comment on the noise. Maybe not complain, but it is I guess you can think of it as a noisier place. There is a lot more, I would say, singing and playing of music out in public into the late evening hours. People tend to be out and about, especially here along the Malecon, with their families later in the evening. They hang out, and it's loud. I guess it's loud. I don't care about that. But it could bother people, I suppose. It could, irritate you if that's something that gets on your nerves. It's a little bit noisy. It depends on where you're staying, of course. But I do think, yeah, it's not that uncommon to hear people partying into the night and some noise from, vehicles and things like that. I think one night we had some sort of thing going on with motorcycles where there was just like an event, and it was just loud. It went on for quite a while along the Malecon, driving through. And yeah, I mean, I just found it kind of entertaining and interesting, but it didn't bother me. But it was a little bit late. Maybe it was around 9. That's not that late. But if you wanted to go to sleep at 9, it would be, right? If you're like, I have to get up in the morning. We don't have to get up in the morning. We just have to get up in the morning for our dog who wants a walk early in the morning. So anyway, so noise, it's real. It's true. It's noisier here, I think, but I don't care. Next, so having our dog here, it's a little bit of a challenge. I mean, it was a little challenge getting here. I think I detailed that. Getting him here was hard. And we are in a condo, so he doesn't have like the same access to outdoor space that he used to. But he gets plenty of walks and seems to love it here. I think what is interesting is we were warned about like stray dogs and stuff like that here in Mexico. Now, there actually aren't that many stray dogs here where we are in Mazatlan. I think we've only seen one consistently around town, but there are a lot of dogs. And so more than Milo is used to seeing on a walk. And so that is a little bit challenging for him, more for us than him, more for Felix. I should say it's Felix than me, because he's usually the one holding the leash. So it can be like a struggle. Again, so many dogs. But, they're not scary dogs really or vicious or anything. It's just a lot of encounters to have to manage. So that's a thing. That's, could be worse. Just a challenge, just as something we've had to, daily cope with, I guess. Here's a small thing, kind of small, is that I think the food portions, generally speaking, are smaller here than in the States. More like reasonable. You know how you go out for dinner in the United States and you get like this tremendous amount of food on your plate and you can't, well, you could eat it all, but you know, you probably shouldn't eat it all, and it's just like twice as much food as you really need to eat. But I would say that generally we have found that portion control is much more realistic, reasonable. Like, we hard pressed to overeat, I guess. Not that we haven't overeaten, but hard pressed, based on most of the experiences in all the little restaurants we've been to. So, I don't know. Is that interesting? It was interesting to me. Also in the food category, we go to OXXO a lot. Everyone goes to OXXO a lot. Now it's like the equivalent of 7-Eleven, but not. And it kind of does more things than a 7-Eleven would. But random things that you can get there, like we can get eggs there. And we do, because it's so easy to get eggs. I hear random noises. But anyway, yeah, we can get eggs at OXXO, which is kind of cool. And we get like water there regularly. By the way, it is true, you should not drink the water. This is a generalization, but I would say you should drink bottled water here in Mazatlan. We have not gotten sick from the food or the water or anything, knock on wood. But yeah, so that's real. What other food related thing were we going to talk about? Oh, I know. Everyone seems to think that we couldn't get, well, they're if you read their expat message boards about things people miss in the United States and Canada and whatever. And I've seen mentioned many times that people miss cheddar cheese. So I was thinking, oh, I won't be able to have my cheddar cheese. I love cheddar cheese. And I found it immediately in the Soriana supermarket. So I think the thing is it's not cheap. Like it's actually costs about the same as it would in the United States. So I don't know. I'm just saying. I found it. I paid for it. I have cheddar cheese in the refrigerator right now. So, you probably can get most anything that you're missing for the most part. You just have to pay for it, right? So, yeah, don't be afraid about that kind of thing. If that's kind of thing that holds you back from moving, I hope that wouldn't be the thing. But but be conscious that you can get most things, but you might have to pay a little extra for your favorite things. But boy, these supermarkets are huge. Now Soriana Hyper, is that what Hyper? Hyper, I think. They're like a combination of Costco, Target, Walmart. It's like huge markets, mind-bendingly huge. So I don't think I expected to see that. Wow, you can really get anything there. You can get car tires there, which is surprising. Didn't expect to get car tires where I'm buying my cheddar cheese, but there you go. More food stuff. I've noticed that most of the margaritas here are kind of sparkly, like kind of have a sparkle in it. Sparkly, not literal sparkles, like bubbly. So we realized that most of the margaritas it's like a simple recipe. It's like Fresca or Squirt, plus tequila, plus lime, plus ice and salt, right? And but it's like it's different. It's just a little different. And so yeah, it's kind of like a soda margarita, and you can make it yourself at the OXXO. Let's just go down there and get some Squirt and tequila right now. Have a margarita with me. It's really easy. Most people already know this who live in Mexico, but if you haven't moved to Mexico, you wouldn't know. Everybody uses the app WhatsApp to communicate, either phone calls or texts or whatever. They use WhatsApp here. So you should download WhatsApp if you're going to be in Mexico. It's just super handy dandy, and it's not that hard to use, but if you don't know how to use it, you probably should get used to it a little bit. So yeah, but it works very much like the messaging that we would use like on your iPhone or Android phone. It's pretty much the same, but everybody uses it. All the businesses use it, all the citizens use it. So WhatsApp is the way to go out here. And the final thing I guess I should talk about is you got to process change. You know, I mean, this was a huge, huge change. Moving to Mazatlan, moving away from family and friends and everything we knew and was comfortable, and selling all those things that we owned and loved, and it's different, right? So you have to kind of give yourself the grace to feel the feelings. If you miss people, contact them. If you get on the phone with them, talk to them, text them. Actually, this is helping me a lot as I transition to live here permanently or semi-permanently. We're open to all things, but yeah, I mean, it's a huge adjustment, and so you have to let yourself feel the feels and let it be okay to some days feel homesick or whatever, and talk about it. Because it's huge. It's a huge, huge transition. You can't prepare for certain things, right? You can do all the preparation in the world, but you can't prepare for certain things or your emotional reaction to certain things. So anyway, we're learning a lot here. And this week is going to be a big week because we are going to move again. So to a permanent or permanent-ish place, and so that's going to be interesting, and I'll have some videos about just that new neighborhood, and we're going to start going on some bigger activities that I want to share with you. So we're going to have some fun, but I miss my friends and I miss my family. That's real, but I do love it here, and we're really having a unique and special adventure here. So I hope you continue to join me, and please subscribe. It's fun to share this with a lot of people. I'm enjoying that. I hope you're enjoying it too. Anyway, until next time, this is Farley from Mazatlan, the Mazatlan Diaries. It was especially a diary today. So I hope you enjoyed it. See you soon.